We're going to discuss some Bengals news and rumors and preview this upcoming game against the Seattle Seahawks. But first, make sure you are not the reason why the Bengals cannot make this a winning streak right now by liking today's video right now. We have the data that proves it. The more likes we get, the more likely the team is to win. So if you want the Bengals to take down the Seattle Seahawks, like this video right now. Bengals back at home with Seattle coming in from the West Coast. And despite Seattle having a better record so far this season, having a better scoring offense and similar-ish defenses so far this year, at home, it is the Bengals who are favored against the Seahawks. I would say in maybe not full-on large part, but the majority part due to Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and this offense looking a lot better than what we had seen the first couple of games of the season. The buzz, the expectation from not just us as fans, but from the sports markets is that the Bengals are looking more and more like the team we thought they were going to be, before the Joe Burrow calf injury and the subsequent issues on offense. Cincinnati is favored. They kind of used their must-win game card last week against the Arizona Cardinals, and it worked. They had their best offensive showing of the year, although, as we'll get into, the defense had some more issues. Now they sit at 2-3. They've had a bad game against the Browns, a bad game against the Titans, a struggling game against the Ravens that they lost, a struggling game against the Rams that they won, and I'd say a good game against Arizona. The Seahawks, meanwhile, coming in off of their bye, a very early bye for Seattle, giving them some early rest and recovery. They have won 3 straight games. They got blown out by the Rams, snuck by the Lions, a great win, handled business against the Panthers, and then blew out a bad Giants team. So the bye, I think, helps Seattle. Coming in off the win, that positive momentum also helps to cancel that out if you are the Bengals. So who do you have winning this key game? Again, not must win, but boy, you want to get the win and enter the bye with all of the positive momentum you could ever hope to have. Well, maybe not ever, but you know what I mean. B for the Bengals, if you got them winning. S for the Seahawks. This is today's pinned comment. So if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage. Head down there, type in B for the Bengals, S for the Seahawks. Let's look briefly here at the Bengals injury report. This is based on the Wednesday practice participation report, so you might see some changes. Is worth beginning with the fact that Chidobe Awuzie did not participate with his back issue. He tweaked his back last week of practice. I was convinced, there's no way Cam to the brick gets cleared, so it'll be DJ Turner and Awuzie. And then it ended up being, Awuzie got hurt, CTB was cleared, and Cam Taylor-Britt and DJ Turner, I thought, played pretty darn well against Arizona. I want Awuzie back because I think he's a very good football player. You do not have to rush him back. And also, back issues are back issues. Those tend to linger, especially the older you get. So patience on Awuzie. If he can get a limited rep in Thursday or Friday, gives him a shot, but we'll see. Akeem Davis-Gaither, the linebacker, also did not participate, battling that knee injury. That knee injury, at least in part, was why the Bengals claimed Devin Harper off of waivers from the Dallas Cowboys. And Devin Harper also did not participate with a hamstring injury. So we'll wait and see what the linebacker looks like. They are now 6 deep at the position. So they do have some more options as it relates from that perspective. And then T. Higgins, the wide receiver, was limited on Wednesday with a rib. In general, limited on Wednesday means you're able to play. If I had to guess right now, I would lean towards Higgins playing, but this might be on kind of more of a pitch count situation. A broken rib is not easy or comfortable or fun to play with. It is not fun. It is painful. There's the risk of making things worse too, like with most injuries. So the Bengals will be cautious here, but against the Seattle team, I would bet they try to get Higgins out there. Might not be 100% snap count. Might be more in like the 70s, somewhere in that range. But I do think there's at least a chance Higgins is able to go. It comes down to, does this team feel comfortable putting Higgins out there? Remember, he wants to play. You got to protect the player from themselves sometimes. Now, we will be live for the Bengals-Seahawks game, so make sure you are subscribed. We'll be live a half hour before kickoff. Have some fun. YouTube.com/BengalsTV. Key to victory number 1. You got to keep Joe Burrow balling, man. This is a critical part. And by the way, quick aside, did you guys see what DK Metcalf said? Devin Witherspoon's going to lock down Jamar Chase. We'll see about that one there. You get more of this Burrow against the Cardinals, who still was not perfect, but had by far his best game of the season. That's going to go a long way to winning games. When you're playing good teams, your best players have to step up and play well. Your coaches have to do a good job. You need that from Burrow this week. Now, today's show is made possible by Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. It is just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of other players, the pros, the sharks, etc., you simply pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections from any sport, and you watch the winnings roll in. It is simple to play. You can make your picks and submit your entry in less than 60 seconds. Here are my picks this week. Now, you're not going to like my middle one, so I apologize. Trevor Lawrence, I've got more than passing yards. I think that the Jags offense is getting back, and if they can make catches along the sideline to the end zone, man, that team could be really dangerous. I got Kenneth Walker, more than half a touchdown, so 1. We'll talk about this run defense for the Bengals against the Seahawks ground game. I am worried about that, but that's going to come later on in today's show. Cooper Kupp, give me the more than. He's going to get targeted so much in Los Angeles. If you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and you use code CLNS for a first deposit match, they will give you up to $100 for that by using the code. Again, the link will be in the comments and the description. But again, it is prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Key to victory number 2, and the next 2 we're talking about here are a little bit more longer term than just this game. Oh boy, we got to figure out what's going on with Cordell Volson. I think he has had a sophomore slump so far this year. He's been serviceable, fine, maybe even good at times, or better than that, in the ground game. But 328 snaps, you're looking at, let's just say it's a third. It's actually more than a third, but let's say things get going a little bit better. He has allowed 2 sacks. He has allowed 1 hit and 11 hurries. So we're trending towards 45 pressures this year. These are all per PFF, by the way. That is way too many pressures allowed. And yes, any quarterback where they don't want pressure is right in their face. It makes it very challenging. Got guys around you, behind you, you can step up, step back, whatever. You got it right in your grill. That's how those Giants teams beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. And that has not changed in football in a very long time. There's no other options right now, I don't believe, on this offensive line. I'm certainly not going to play Jackson Carman at left guard. I think Max Sharping is probably your next best backup interior offensive lineman. You got some position flex across the board there, but I don't think he's a better option than Volson. If it doesn't get better, you might have to consider that in the near future. Something's got to give up front. Volson, simply put, has to play better. Number 3. Let's figure out that second starting safety spot. Dax Nell has made some mistakes, but he's been a good football player so far for the Bengals. And what has been very interesting is that Jordan Battle, the rookie out of Alabama, is defying all of the previous stereotypes that Lou Anarumo has done as Bengals defensive coordinator. He has historically not put first-year guys on the field outside of the events of injury, and they are rotating Scott and Jordan Battle. That's interesting. Nick Scott has had a lot of missed tackles. We'll get that here in a little bit. He has not been the player that I thought he was going to be. I think there's been some frustration there. And Lou Anarumo has been honest. Asked about, hey, what's going to happen there between Scott and Battle? Saying, quote, just keep rotating these guys and see how they fare. Jordan's been showing some good things in practice. So I feel like we have an opportunity. We'll just kind of see how it plays out. But I could see both of them playing going forward. It makes me a little bit anxious. I think it could lead to some chemistry feel issues, but look, we'll talk about the missed tackles on this team, and Nick Scott's been a big problem in that area, so I think there's been some blown coverages by him. Jordan Battle, third-round pick, has shown some promise, is still a rookie, Lou does not love those, historically speaking, but got to get it figured out. So pick one. Who do you want to start, or at least give the majority to, right? JB for Jordan Battle, and S for Nick Scott. Teased it earlier. Number 4, you have got to find a way to figure out how you're going to stop the run. You have to do it. This is a bad matchup for you too. Let's look at expected points added per play. It's an advanced stat, but it tries its best, kind of over team stat, like a team rushing stat. Like you run the football. How efficient are you? How much does it lead to success on your drives? Seattle is number 2 in the entire NFL in rushing yards, or in rush EPA per play. So when they run the football, it's efficient, it's effective, and it leads to good things on those drives, or at least potential for good things. If you turn the ball over afterwards, like, what are you going to do? The Bengals, meanwhile, are a bottom 5 rushing EPA per play defense. Now, again, this is a EPA per play does not like running the football because it's not nearly as effective or explosive, but Bengals are bottom 5. Seahawks are top 2. Kenneth Walker is going to have some success. If they cannot get it figured out, they have been gashed a bunch this year on the ground. It needs to change this week, or this is going to be a very tough game to win, even if your offense steps up and plays the way it has as of late. So pick the score for me of the Bengals against the Seahawks. We'll get to mine here momentarily, my score prediction, but sound off in the comment section right now. Number 5, and this is part of stopping the run, right? But also your passing game too. You got to stop with the missed tackles, my friends. Mike Hilton, who historically has been a great run support player, has missed 8 tackles this year, according to Pro Football Focus. Cam Taylor-Britt, Nick Scott have both missed 6. Your stud linebackers, you're supposed to be stud linebackers. Maybe I should clarify it that way. Logan Wilson, Jermaine Pratt, they've missed 5 and 4 so far this season. Dax Hill has missed 3. You've got 5 players with 2 in total. You have missed 50 tackles in 5 games. You can't miss 10 tackles a game over the course of a season. That is way too damn many, especially when last year, also per Pro Football Focus, you missed 95 all season long. I mean, you're going to blow by that number before you get to the midway point of the season. That has got to get sorted out and quickly. That's not a scheme thing. That's an execution thing as far as I'm concerned. Score prediction time. It's going to go all the way down to the wire. I have the Bengals eking out a win, maybe on an Evan McPherson game-winning field goal. Final score 24-23 to get some positive vibes heading into the bye.